its life as one of the most
Dominance
practical
forged
pickups
in
in Ford's
darkness.
lineup. But now looks like it could lead a convoy through the desert, survive a rough work site, and still pull up outside a premium showroom
Introducing the
without looking out of
2026
place.
Ford Ranger
This is the 2026
XLS.
Ford Ranger XLS, but not in the way you're used to seeing it. This one has been transformed with a satin red vinyl wrap and a full steel bodywork package. And the result is something far more dramatic than a normal midsize pickup. It's aggressive, it's functional, it's visually unforgettable. And it proves just how far a smart custom build can push an already solid truck. Today, we're taking a close look at what makes this customized Ranger special, how the modifications change its personality, what they add in terms of design and real-world toughness, and whether this is actually a better truck because of those upgrades, or simply a tougher looking one. The first thing that hits you is the color. Satin red is a very different experience compared to regular metallic paint or a glossy
Introducing
custom
the
finish.
2026
It doesn't
Ford
shout in the
Ranger
same way a
XLS.
bright gloss red would.
Armored
Instead,
and ready for
it gives the
anything.
truck a smoother, more controlled, more expensive kind of presence. The light rolls across the surface rather than bouncing off it sharply, which gives the body a richer and more sculpted appearance. On a pickup like the Ranger XLs, that satin finish works especially well because it makes the truck look more muscular without becoming flashy. It adds attitude, but it still feels mature. And because this is a vinyl wrap, there's also a practical advantage. It helps protect the original paint underneath from small chips, light scratches, and the everyday abuse that comes with road use, dirt, debris, and changing weather. So this isn't just about looks. It's also about preserving the truck while giving it a stronger visual identity. Then you move past the wrap and start noticing the armor. And that is where this build really changes character. This isn't just a stock Ranger with a color change. The steel body armor gives it a completely different attitude. Up front, the reinforced steel bumper, integrated skid protection, and grille guard create a much harder, more serious face. From the side, the rock sliders and side protection make the truck look lower. It's tougher and more planted,
Precision engineering
while also giving it
meets
real defense
unparalleled
against rough
strength.
terrain and
The
accidental
customized
contact.
Ford Ranger
At the
XLS.
rear, the armored bumper finishes the build
Experience the
with
satin
same
red
heavy-duty
finish
feel.
and comprehensive steel
And
armor
underneath,
of the new Ranger
visible
XLS.
skid protection reinforces the
Precision
idea that
engineered
this
for
truck
the
is built to
untamed.
handle more than smooth roads and parking lots. What's important here is that the armor doesn't completely erase the Ranger's original shape. You can still clearly see the Ford Ranger XLs underneath. The build respects the factory proportions while adding a more rugged and purposeful layer over them. That balance matters because the result feels custom, not cartoonish. And that's one of the smartest things about this setup. It doesn't turn the truck into a fantasy machine. It turns it into a more focused version of itself. The Ranger XLS is already known as a solid, no-sense mid-size pickup. It's usually chosen by people who want a dependable truck that can handle daily duties, practical work, and weekend use without trouble. By starting with that platform, this build has a strong foundation. The double cab shape still offers everyday usability. The bed is still there for utility. The cabin remains practical and familiar, but visually and functionally, the truck now has much more presence. It looks like something designed with a mission in mind.
Introducing
That
the
mission could be
2026
overlanding,
Ford
site work,
Ranger
rural driving,
XLS.
security use, or
Precision
simply standing
engineering
out in a
meets
sea of
raw
ordinary
power.
pickups. The point is, this customized Ranger doesn't lose the original truck's usefulness. It adds a much stronger identity on top of it. From a design perspective, the contrast between satin, red, and dark gunmetal steel is what really sells the build. If the whole truck were just one color, it wouldn't have the same impact. The red gives it energy. The steel gives it seriousness. Black accents like the grille, mirrors, handles, wheels, and window trim help tie everything together and stop the truck from feeling visually overloaded. The chunky all-terrain tires add to that effect as well. They bring a tougher stance and help the truck visually match the armored body. Even standing still, this Ranger looks prepared.
Built
It doesn't look
for the
decorative.
untamed.
It
The
looks deliberate.
customized 2026
And that's why the build
Ranger
works so well.
XLS. Armored
Every
for the
modification seems to be
impossible.
supporting the same message. This is a practical truck that has been upgraded to take on harder environments while looking far more premium and unique.
Precision
than
engineered
standard.
for the path less
Of
traveled.
course,
The 2026
Once you add steel
Ford
armor
Ranger.
to any vehicle, the conversation has to shift toward performance. Because protection always comes with trade-offs. Steel is strong, but it is also heavy. And when you add that extra
Built to
mass to the
dominate
front,
any
sides,
landscape.
rear, and lower
The
sections
new
of a truck,
2026
you
Ford
change the
Ranger.
way it behaves. In everyday driving, this customized Ranger will almost certainly feel more substantial than a stock XLs. It may not accelerate quite as eagerly. Braking can feel a little more loaded. Steering may feel heavier, especially at lower speeds. Fuel economy may also take a slight hit depending on how much armor has been added and what tires the truck is wearing. That's the nature of this kind of build. You are trading a little efficiency for durability, visual presence, and real physical protection. The key question is whether that trade makes sense
Conquer
for the
any
intended
terrain with the
use.
customized
And for the right
2026
owner,
Ford Ranger.
it absolutely does.
Featuring comprehensive steel
On
armor
the road,
and
build
unmatched
like this
approach
tends to
angles.
feel less like a sporty pickup and more like a tool with confidence. It gives the impression of solidity. That can actually be a very appealing
Power
quality.
and precision.
Instead of feeling
Redefinied.
light and slightly soft,
This
the
is
truck
the
feels planted,
2026
serious,
Ford
and
Ranger
composed.
XLS.
The Ranger's chassis is already built around utility and toughness, so it can cope with that heavier-duty personality better than a lot of crossover-based vehicles ever could. This is still a mid-size pickup underneath. That means it still offers the kind of balance people want between urban practicality and real truck capability. You can still drive it every day. You can still use it for work. You can still carry gear, head out on a weekend trip, or deal with rough roads without feeling like you're using the wrong machine for the job. That daily usability is one of the biggest reasons. This build is more than just visual theater. Where the modifications become especially meaningful is when the pavement ends. Steel body armor isn't there purely for style. On rough trails, rocky terrain, uneven tracks, and unpredictable surfaces, protection matters. A stronger front bumper and skid setup can help defend critical areas from impacts and
The
scrapes.
new Ford Ranger XLS.
Rock sliders can protect the
Built
lower
tough,
side body from
inside
trail
and out.
damage.
Experience
Rear
rugged
protection
usability
helps when departure
redefined.
angles get tight, or when obstacles come up unexpectedly. Even if the truck is not being used for extreme off-roading every weekend, just having that extra confidence changes the ownership experience. It means the vehicle feels more relaxed in tougher environments. You are less worried
Toughness is
about
built
every
into
rock,
every detail.
every dip,
From the
every bad
reinforced
road,
tie-downs
and
to
every
the
rough
gunmetal
edge.
armor, the new Ranger
And
is
psychologically,
engineered for what's
that matters
next.
almost as much as the hardware itself. The truck gives off a sense that it is ready for more. And as a driver, you feel that inside, the story is different, as the cabin remains grounded in the Ranger XLS's practical roots. And honestly, that's a good thing. A build
for
like
the
this
wild,
doesn't need a
styled
flashy
for the
interior
city.
to prove itself.
The 2026
In fact,
Ford Ranger
the simpler
XLS.
interior works in its favor.
Armor up.
The black cloth seats, functional layout, straightforward controls, and usable dashboard help remind you that this is still a real pickup.
With comprehensive
not just a
steel
showpiece.
body armor and advanced
It still has the
suspension,
kind of interior you
customized
can live
Ranger
with every day.
XLS delivers an
It still has
exceptionally
room for
smooth ride,
passengers,
no matter the
useful
obstacle.
storage, and the sort of easy familiarity that makes a vehicle practical rather than precious. In a world where many custom builds become too
The
extreme
new
to actually enjoy,
2026
this
Ford
Ranger avoids that trap.
XLS.
It still looks usable
Built for the
because
urban
it is
frontier.
usable. The modifications are
Power
outside,
meets
where they
precision.
add visual drama and
Experience
protection,
the armored
while the
Ranger
interior keeps the
XLS.
truck grounded in everyday function. Another major selling point of this build is how it separates itself from both stock trucks and overbuilt customs. A stock Ranger XLs is sensible, but it can disappear into the background. An overdone custom can gain attention, but lose elegance. This truck sits right in the middle. It's bold without becoming ridiculous. It's armored without looking fake. It's premium without being fragile. That's not easy to do. The satin wrap adds sophistication. The steel armor adds purpose. The off-road tires add credibility. The standard XLS base keeps it honest. Together, those ingredients create something that feels complete. This is the kind of truck that could impress a custom truck fan, appeal to an off-road enthusiast, and still make sense to someone who simply wants a tougher, more distinctive daily pickup. Now, to be completely fair, this build won't be for everyone. Some people will prefer the lighter, cleaner simplicity of a stock Ranger. Some buyers won't want the added weight, the stronger visual aggression, or the maintenance that can come with wraps and aftermarket armor. Others may feel that an XLS should stay humble and practical
The
rather
new
than becoming a
2026
statement piece.
Ford Ranger
And those are
XLS,
valid opinions.
built
But
to
custom
dominate
vehicles
any
are not
terrain
about
with
pleasing
rugged
everyone.
control.
They are about expressing a purpose and a personality. And this Ranger has both. It says the owner wanted more than just utility.
When the
They wanted a
trail
truck
calls,
with presence,
Answer with
with
authority.
toughness,
The
and with a
new
very
Ranger
clear visual
XLS.
identity. That identity is what turns this from a normal pickup into something memorable in the end. The 2026 Ford Ranger XLs. Customized with satin red vinyl wrap, comprehensive. Steel body armor is a strong example of how thoughtful modifications can dramatically transform a vehicle without destroying what made it good in the first place. The Ranger remains practical,
Conquer
versatile,
any
and
horizon.
usable.
The customized
But now it carries itself with a
2026 Ford
completely
Ranger
different level of
XLS.
confidence.
Built
It looks
for
tougher,
the untamed.
feels more
The new
protected,
2026
and stands
Ford
out in a
Ranger,
way a stock truck simply
engineered for the
can't.
untamed.
The satin red
Conquer
wrap
any
gives it
terrain
premium
with
visual
unparalleled
impact.
stability.
The steel body armor gives it real-world functionality and commanding road presence. The result is not just a customized Ranger. It's a Ranger with a mission, a personality, and a presence that demands attention. It may not be the lightest, the cheapest, or the most subtle version of the truck.
When the trail
Subtle
calls,
was never the goal here.
answer with
This
authority.
build is about strength, attitude, and making sure
The
that whether it's on a city
2026
street,
Ford Ranger
in an industrial
XLS.
yard, or on a rocky
Armored
trail,
precision,
this Ranger never
wherever
feels
the road
ordinary for a
takes
single
you.
second.